Everybody, Happy New Year. Okay, Toby settled in his drawer. See if you can see Toby in his drawer. Executive Toby. My executive dog. Okay, so Happy New Year. Welcome to a new decade. And I know there's debate as to whether or not it's a new decade. It's not a new decade because, yes, we count 1 to 10. So this would be 20, so the new decade starts next year, but there's a lot to be said about zero numbers, and you know that it's really a 2-year, because you have the 2020 comes, the 2s come to 4, which comes back to 2. So it's new journeys, and it's new adventures. And there's already a lot of that going on already. I hear from so many of you already. Even for me, it's been, this is the 6th, and already it's been a very eventful first 5 days. So I hope you all had wonderful holidays. I was really sorry to miss time with you, but there were some things going on here that I really needed to take self-care and to process, and I will admit that I'm not done doing that. I don't know if I'm ever going to be done doing that, but it's been a very interesting process, and there's a lot of energy shifting. And so, hey, please. So one of the things that I want to say is to really just about trusting the process. And so then when I pulled the cards this morning, they were all about trust. So I was having a laugh about that, because so many chapters came to an end at the end of 2019. So many of us had people that left the earth plane in 2019. So many of us, we had seen massive storms and the fires and the earthquakes, and now my lights are flickering, and we've just seen so much of this energy bubbling. We've been talking for a while about energy bubbling up as we're seeing the rising of the light and the rising of the dark, and that fracturing that's going on. And we've been seeing this energy in the planet kind of coming slowly to a boil, and we're seeing that now as the boil is starting in this new decade, or almost new decade, however you want to look at that. And so the thing that I want to come to you with is to trust the process, because it's never comfortable. Change is never comfortable, whether it's to the benefit in that moment or whether it's not to our benefit in that moment. It seems catastrophic in the moment. Change is never comfortable, even the good stuff, okay? Moving to a bigger house or getting a promotion or whatever it is, change is never comfortable. And yet change is also inevitable. So it's really important that we are just trusting in the universe and embracing the process. And when I look at the news, as I'm sure all of you do, when you look at the news, it is heartbreaking. And so there are things I want to say about that. And I really try not to be very political here, but there are some things I really want to say. And one is, it's important to be informed. Okay, it's very important to be informed, but it's not a requirement to get sucked in. Okay, getting sucked into the negativity is a choice. Getting into conversations with people, we've come to this place in our society right now, I think, where people are not willing to hear each other, and people are not willing to have their minds changed, or even have the possibility of changing their minds, because they feel like it's a sign of weakness. And I think that that's a real problem, and that's very unfortunate. We have lost our ability to talk to each other, but we certainly have gained an ability to scream at each other. So one of the things I want to talk about, that I want to say, is just really, it is important to be informed, but it's not requirement. It's not required to be to get yourself wrapped up in the drama. Okay, I see what's going on in our own country. I have Iranian friends in California, and I see what's happening at our Canadian border and with our Iranian citizens, and my heart is just sick. I see what's going on in Australia, and we have friends there as well, and my heart is just sick. But so much of that can then make your body sick. And so it's really important that, yes, be informed, try not to be embroiled in the emotion and the depression and the sadness. Try to look for things where you can make a difference. Is there a charity that you can support? Is there a petition you can sign? Is there something positive that you can post? Or is there a friend that you can call? And I want to reiterate that, like with bold capital letters. Is there a friend that you can call? So that's going to be one of my plans for the next couple of days, is reaching out to my friends who are Iranian and letting them know that I love them and I'm with them, and that, you know, anything that I can do to love and support them is done. Because for me personally, being Jewish, the rise of anti-Semitism that we're seeing in this country just tears at my heart every day. And one of the things that I would love to see is for my non-Jewish friends to step up and say, you know, this anti-Semitism is not okay. And I stand with my Jewish brothers and sisters. I stand with my Muslim brothers and sisters. I stand with my African-American brothers and sisters. I stand with my Iranian brothers and sisters. And so that, I think, is one of the biggest things that's missing. And it is something that like I said, I really try not to be too political, but today this is really on my heart, to really call on all of us to stand up and denounce the hate that is being promulgated in our society. And so if you are, today is a National Day of Jewish Pride, and so they're posting things on online, and there are marches and things to show Jewish pride. And I am a very proud Jewish woman, but I am saddened by the lack of support that I see coming from Christian and non-Jewish friends. And now, again, with what's going on with the Iranians and in our country who are citizens, and then also with our African-American community, always. We have to stand together. All of us who define in some way as other, we have to stand together, because if we don't, it just becomes easier and easier for this current administration and their followers to tear us apart. And so if you are defining yourself in some way, shape, or form as other, I think it's really important that we stand together. I think it's really important that we stand together, all of us, but there are some that have chosen hate as their path forward, and I refuse to do that. I will choose love as my path forward with every breath that I take. So I would strongly encourage you to stay informed and to lead from love. And if you have friends that are in a minority group that is being targeted, or you have friends that are living in a part of the globe that is under siege by Mother Nature or by other political unrest, reach out to them and let them know that you're there. Reach out and let them know that you love them and you support them, and that your friendship is strong. Because I'm going to tell you, that makes a huge difference. It makes a world of difference. Okay, so just wanted to get that out there today. And also, all of this just continues to align with the cards that were pulled. And so we're still using Rebecca Campbell's just really beautiful Work Your Light Oracle cards. And these cards are so beautiful. The colors are beautiful. The messages are beautiful. The images are just gorgeous. And so I really am so drawn to them. And I love the concept also that in my mind, they remind me a bit of the transgender flag. Excuse me. And they also, on the back, they have these really fun triangle shapes, but they have these triangles down here. And I know that the triangle is also significant. So I love the flowers. I love all of it, because to me, these cards, when I picked them up, they just truly embodied love for me. They really embodied, hey Robin, they really embodied the whole idea of just love and acceptance. And I love this image on the back of this sort of fracture of like a stained glass window that's been sort of fractured, and yet it's surrounded by pink roses, which are always the sign of love and friendship. and that they are all also sort of pointing, that you have these arrows that are pointing in to togetherness and to reunification. So there was just everything that I just really fell in love with these cards. And I just think that they are, and the pictures on the front are even better. So today, our first card, and I loved these, I just, when I pulled them from the deck this morning, my heart just sort of leapt in a beautiful way to just really be so embraced by this message of the first card is break the chain. And so we've been talking a lot about having, you know, the cycles, the ends of cycles and things that were coming to conclusion at the end of 2019 and moving into this new time frame and this new whole new energy of 2020. And so many of us have been seeing this in Break the Chain. It says ancestral patterns, healing and rewriting the future. And this is really that time. This is the time when we are breaking the chain. That the end of 2019 was the closing of so many doors, the closing of many chapters, and as we now embark anew in January of 2020, and the moon cycles and all of the energy that has been in the universe. And actually, I was reading something. I'm not big in astrology. I love it. I don't always follow it. I don't always understand it. It's not something I've studied enough. But I was reading something about Sirius, the star, being in motion and going in motion now in January. And I just think that is so great, because Sirius is the star that the wise men were said to have followed in reaching Bethlehem for the baby Jesus. And so I just love this whole idea of the guiding light of the universe. And I think that's such a beautiful thing, especially that we're seeing now. This is something that's happening now in January. So we truly are breaking the chain. But again, change is not comfortable for pretty much anybody. And so if you are, even if it's positive change, we tend just by our human nature to resist it. And so the thing I want to leave you with Break the Chain is really just to relax into the change and into the transition. Just trust the universe and just allow it to unfold. And so this kind of brings back around to, you know, the little bit of politics that we touched on before, which is really letting things unfold as they are going to, because what is happening, even as heartbreaking as it is to watch, and I see the things happening in Australia and in the Amazon, and I see all of it, and it just, you know, you could spend your days watching the news and just being, you know, in tears. And so one of the things that I do understand is that we're sort of witnessing a terraforming of sorts, and that our planet is remaking itself as we as society are remaking ourselves, because we are going to, and we've talked about this before, have this sort of breaking apart of the light and the dark, till we get to this breaking point where everyone kind of looks up and says, enough. And then we come back together into a place of light. And so we're in that stretch before the break. And so it looks worse. It looks like it's worse. It looks like every day it's going to get worse. But it is going to be okay in the end. It's going to be different. Change is hard, but it is this metamorphosis that our society is going through right now. And so that's never an easy thing. And we talk about the butterfly emerging from the cocoon, and the butterfly struggles and struggles and struggles to get out of that little tiny hole in the cocoon so that it can squeeze all of that moisture out of its wings and be light and airy and free to fly and follow the light. Okay, and so we're in that right now. Our society is in a huge transformational time, and we just want to hang on. We are absolutely, as a society, breaking the chains of our ancestral patterns and how things were done, and we're moving into a new place. And so the next card, of course, because you can't make this up, the next card, of course, trust your path. Okay, if you knew you would be supported, what would you do? Trust your path. Okay, and such a beautiful picture in this, like these temples and this paths and all that. You have water and sand and just, I mean, just beautiful imagery that she shares on these beautiful cards. Trust your path. And so the thing I want to say to you is, yes, it is very easy to be consumed and looking at the news and the world around us and think that everything is falling apart. But what I want you to understand is that in our little microcosms of light and love, we are going strong. We are going strong. And it's like bubbles in a soda. If you pour the the soda into the glass, the bubbles, they bubble, 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 and then they overflow, and they breach the top of the glass, and they overflow. We are the bubbles. We are the little bubbles, and we are bubbling to the surface, and we are increasing in number, and we are taking more and more people with us. And so for us to stay on the path and stay in that place of love and light and trust where the universe is trying to lead us in a path of love that will not harm us and that will continue to, now it doesn't mean it won't be, that it's going to be easy, okay? It's not all sunshine and lollipops. Change is hard, but it's always for our highest and best good and not to harm us, okay? And even it says in scriptures that I have a plan for you and not to harm you, or a plan for a future. And I know that I don't study the New Testament, so I don't really know, but I know that one, that it is, that the universe always has our highest and best good in mind and is always trying to take us even through the fire to the place of blessing, and that we just got to trust that path and allow it to develop. So even as we're looking at the things that are going on in the world right now, it's very easy to get mired in that negativity and the hate and the anger and the frustration and the sadness. And I'm telling you that it is our responsibility as light workers and people who believe in the light and who seek the light, is our responsibility to trust the path and to continue to shine our light and to expand our light for others to be able to see it, because we will continue to pick up others along the way, and the tip will come where the light will overpower the dark. Okay, so the third card then said, and this just made me laugh, it says, trust the niggle. Trust the niggle. What is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? And we all know that word, and that word's such a silly word, but we trust that niggle, that thing in your mind, that thing in your heart, that thing in your, that little inkling, that intuition that says, I really ought to do a thing. And one of the things that just came to my mind so clearly was doing more of this. And so I generally come on about once a week to do the cards of the week. But I think the idea of having a video blog, or just where I can hop on and talk with you for a few minutes and just share things that are on my mind as I go through the week, because there's always those times where I feel like I would love to just put that out there. I'd love to put that out there. And then something happens and it takes my focus away. And so that's really the niggle that's been sticking with me, is being more available to share those inklings, those intuitions, those nigglings with our community of light and love, and to be able to share more of that with you. And the other niggle, trust your niggle. As I was hearing this, the other thing that I heard was something that my friend Schiffer taught me in a class that she facilitates, about about 17 seconds that you have, and it always makes me think of Matt Damon in that movie We Bought a Zoo, that you need like 10 seconds of insane courage. And so this is something she talks about with 17 seconds, that if you have that niggle and you don't take action on it within 17 seconds, you won't. And so I want to challenge you, as she has challenged me, to take action on the niggle, because again, these are things you're being called to do. They're being called to help move you forward. And so when you trust the niggle, you will be moving forward on your path, and you will be more in alignment with taking others with you along the way. Now, again, it doesn't mean it's going to be easy and sunshine and lollipops all the way, and it doesn't always mean that it also doesn't mean that it won't be scary, because it sometimes is a little bit like, oh, am I going to do that? But trust the niggle, trust the universe, trust your path, okay, and break the chain of the things that have happened in our past, and allowing the chain of the things that have happened in our past as a society to be broken, trusting that we are moving forward on our collective path, and we have the ability to expand the light. Always we have the ability to expand the light by taking others with us, trusting our niggle, and sharing whatever that is with the people around us. Whether you hop on your page and share some thoughts, whether you share some thoughts here, I would be so honored if you wanted to share your niggles with me in the comments below. That would be so fantastic. And as always, I'm always so grateful when you like and share this video, so that we can continue to bring more bubbles of light into our community. I saw that we officially hit over 450 followers This morning, I'm so honored, and I'm so excited to see, when we can reach into 500. That is it is such a blessing, and I'm so grateful for all of you who like and share the videos, and the other posts as well. So we're going to finish, as we always do, with our postcard from the universe from Colette Baron Reed. And as I always say, I do not pick these or read these in advance. I reach into the card box and I say, show me what we need to share. And it's always so miraculous to me that it's always exactly what we've been talking about. So this says, dearest you, going the extra mile to achieve your dreams and putting in some overtime will reap big rewards. Now is the time for you to act, to stir up some energy and put those plans into action. There are many windows of opportunity that open but close quickly when you don't take the risk and go for it. 17 seconds. Today, be confident that your hard work will pay off and you'll feel that satisfaction and fulfillment of reaching your desired outcome. It might turn out even better than you expected. Trust the niggle. Isn't that amazing? Remember, however much work you're willing to put in, we will match it tenfold on our end. Trust the path. Everyone over here is rooting for you to win the game of life, so just do it. Loving you so, so much. You guys, I can't make this stuff up. I don't make this stuff up. I pull the cards. I trust the cards. I trust the universe. I trust my guides that they are going to provide exactly the right information that we need to share today. And so we have, again, breaking the chain, trusting your path, and trusting your niggle. And then the postcard from the universe that says exactly that. This is the time. Get in motion. Trust your niggle. Be cognizant of that 17 seconds. And make sure you take action on it so that you don't lose that impetus, that door doesn't close for the opportunity. When you trust the niggle and you step into that place of uncertainty and willing to step forward into the light, the universe has absolutely got your back. Always the universe has your back. Thank you for being with me, for sharing some time with me today. I have missed being with you. I hope you all had a wonderful holiday season. I look forward to being back with you. Next Monday, I'm at a conference, so I'm not sure what time we will get to connect, but I will plan to be in connection with you sometime, probably Monday evening. If I can jump on for these new live blog things to just say hello, I absolutely will. But I am in a conference all day on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. So we will figure it out. I love you. I am so grateful for your light and for your willingness to share in the light that we're creating together. And I hope you have a wonderful week. And remember, trust the path, trust the niggle, and we're moving forward. It's a new decade. However you slice it, it's a new decade.